Hi guys, it's Ani. In today's video, it's gonna be a really good video. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna address from the beginning so you know, because I'm sure some of you are going through this, most of you are going through this. I'm gonna be addressing what to do when you feel anxious and worried, you guys. I know that comes up a lot when you feel impatient, when you're waiting on your manifestation, when you don't feel good in your own skin, you don't feel comfortable, um, you're not prioritizing yourself, when you're almost like waiting for your specific person or you're waiting for your manifestation to happen and it just doesn't feel good. I've been there. I know how it is. My clients have gone through that too, and we've helped them like get out of that feeling, which, you know, once you become stable, you start seeing more and more movement in your reality and more, preferred things happening in your reality. So I'm going to address those things. I'm going to talk about a success story from one of my clients. She successfully removed the third party and she got her man back, and they are in a beautiful, beautiful relationship now. Um, and I'm going to really like focus on the, like those uncomfortable feelings you guys get. I remember like when I was manifesting a lot of things that I currently have, like I already manifested. I remember when I was manifesting those things, I was just like, I would have like really good days, really confident days, but I would have also a lot of days where like I just didn't feel good. Like I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good like waking up. I didn't feel good um having fun with friends. Even like my mind was elsewhere. My mind was, where's my SP? My mind was, where's like this thing I want really bad, right? So if you guys are going through that, and a lot of my clients come to me with those issues. So if you guys are going through that and that resonates, keep on watching. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful video, a very helpful video, and I intend you guys just feel better and more confident that you are God of your reality. All right, guys, let's get into it. So I met with my client this week, and when we met, she was manifesting her SP back in. So she was with her SP before she came to me. She was with him for a few years, but through a lot of her insecurities and anxious thoughts and worries, she manifested a third party, and SP was with third party for quite some time. Okay, and I've been through that, you guys. I've been through that, and a lot of my clients have been through that too. And I know how it feels. You feel like, you're not in control. You feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, and it feels like you're like defeated. But from my personal experience and from me sharing my personal experience and how I got through it, a lot of clients are getting through that situation and getting their SPs back and really like experiencing a better version of the SP and the relationship that they've never really experienced before. So I don't want you to feel like it's hopeless and you can never get back to a good place, in your relationship, or like you lost them for good. That's really not the case. It just takes a lot of discipline here, not out there, here. I'm telling you from someone that's, manifested third party out in the past successfully and maintained it. You can do it. You can do it. What invites a third party in, you guys, is a lot of like not feeling a priority, not feeling chosen. Most of the focus is on that. Most of your dominant thoughts is like, I'm not chosen. Or I know a lot of people that like are just constantly manifesting third parties. If it's not one, they get rid of one, it's another, right? So y- you see how focus maximizes, like when you don't feel chosen and prioritized, and you're constantly thinking that, you're constantly checking, you're constantly like remembering that you weren't chosen. You're constantly remembering the worst version of this person. You're constantly thinking of, what did I do wrong? How could I get out of this? You're in a lack state. That is the case with a lot of people. They're in lack state over and over and over and over again. And I know it's not easy. Like I know it's not the easiest thing in the world, but you can do this. You can do this. It is discipline. So what happened with my specific person, this specific client? What happened with this client is we started really working on her thoughts and beliefs around this situation. We started working on um the beliefs she had, like the limiting beliefs. Like, she thought that once this person's out, they'll never come back in. She thought that there was a lot of um, issues with her. Like, maybe it was, her physical appearance, or maybe it was she's not perfect enough, or maybe it just was like she was very worried about her thoughts. Like, she was very worried about, what if I do something wrong? What if I mess this up? What if I think too many negative thoughts? And there was a lot of questioning. And I've been there, I know. And I know a lot of clients that have come out of this very successfully, but they all go through that. Anything you guys are manifesting, you guys, please don't expect that you're going to be perfect at this, and you can't, like, like, I don't know. I see a lot of people that are so worried that they're gonna mess up, and you can't really mess this up. The worst that can happen is you focus on the undesired thoughts, but you can always choose to come back to the desired thoughts and focus dominantly on that. That it just takes some discipline. It's just like a diet where, like, you have cravings to go and pick and choose, like, the undesired food, or you have cravings to, like, I want the pizza, I want the burgers, I want the junk, right? Like, when you discipline yourself to just, like, eat that and crave that, obviously those cravings are going to come up. Same thing with mental diet. If you've disciplined yourself and you've created a habit, that negative thought, spiral, 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 bad version, bad version, bad version of SP. If you've created that within, uh, your brain is like, okay, she did that once, she did that twice, she did that 3 times, she does this often, she thinks of this person that way often. Let's keep pushing that out for her to experience. Your subconscious mind projecting out, it doesn't think it's doing anything bad. It's trying to serve you. It's trying to serve you and your thoughts, because it's thinking that your thoughts create no matter what, right? So, you being the operant power, your subconscious mind is just like, I'm just trying to serve you. Okay. So, whatever you create, like, as a habit, whatever you do over and over and over and over again, even when you create thoughts, like beliefs and now assumptions, and now you have a huge story attached to it, the more you focus on that, that's going to maximize, because your subconscious is trying to do its job and push out what you're thinking. Okay. So we focused on her thoughts and beliefs around it, and everyone is different, you guys. I can't say, like, everyone thinks the same way about their specific person. Everyone has their same story about their specific person. Obviously not, but there's what I can say, that I've noticed in a lot of my clients that have come out successful in this topic, is there's a lot of focus on specific person not being the desired version. There's a lot of focus on your own imperfections. Like, it's like you're almost like logically trying to create a story on how imperfect you are, and that's the reason why you weren't chosen. But that is not the case. Same thing happened with this client. She was creating a story that may logically make sense, can justify why it happened, but the truth is, the more and more she spoke of the history with him and her story, it turns out, like, she just didn't feel like chosen. There was a time she did, and then she noticed one weird behavior from him, that was just like, he was just a little dismissive. That was it. One time. And she really, really focused on that being dismissive. And she started really taking it in and starting to think like, oh my God, like, why did he say that? Like, why is he acting that way with me? You know? And she focused on it. She focused on it. She even had a conversation with him about it. Like, why were you dismissive that one time? And he was like, it wasn't, honestly, he's like, I didn't think you would take it that personal. Like, I wish you would have like talked to me about it. But the more and more and more, like, she kept on going to that story. Oh, look, he's acting weird. He's acting weird. He's acting weird. It was just once, but it only takes one little thing for us to start focusing on something, right? It takes like maybe a tone of voice in someone in your SP. Maybe, okay, they didn't pick up when you called them, but they got back to you. Now you're thinking, why didn't they pick up? It's always this little thought that makes us insecure. We don't catch it, and we now build a whole story around that little thought. I know I've done that. If you guys have done that, comment down below, right? So she built like this story around one little action he did when there wasn't a third party. She took it in, internalized it, focused on it, even though they talked about it and settled it. She still focused on it. She still felt insecure about herself, and she didn't know that her thoughts are creating. She didn't understand that, okay, me thinking that this person may not choose me, or me thinking that this person may have someone else, may create that going forward. But she did it over and over and over and over and over again until it became like the story in her head that she couldn't really get out of her head. And then it manifested, right? So she understood. When she came to me, she's like, Ani, I completely know what I did. And she told me the whole story, that she reacted on one little thing and she never let it go. She just didn't let it go. She just kept creating like a suspicious like version of her SP. And of course, when you create that and you make it a habit to repeat it over and over again in your head, that person has to project it out because they're you pushed out. You know, it's just like how I'm sure you guys have assumptions of people in your reality, like being late. Like I have like a cousin that's always late. She's always late, and I never changed my story about her. I'm just like, oh my God, he's gonna be late, and I know I'm doing it, but I'm just like, okay, I need to stop, but I can't stop because the history of them being late is so much more dominant within me. Like I just don't put in the effort to change it. But like then when I do, and I'm like, no, I intend she's gonna be on time, she shows up on time, you know. And the more I do, the more you do that, it will change out there, because as above, so below, as within, so without. Everyone is you pushed out, right? So we work together. She also tried out the remove the third party course, she said, which helped her a lot um, outside of our one-on-one session. Sorry guys, when I do this, I'm just trying to get this into focus so you guys can see everything clearly. All right, so we focused on her, we focused on her beliefs. I really like was drilling her, like, you have to remind yourself that old evidence, just because, and this is for you guys too, please take notes, just because something has pushed out in your reality and you've lived through it, it doesn't mean it's stronger and more dominant than what you prefer that hasn't pushed out yet. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Just because you've experienced something undesired and it's pushed out before, and you have a history of it in your head, you have a memory of it, right? Doesn't mean that is more dominant and it will trump your desired version of this person or this experience. It will not. But guess what a lot of people do? They attach that meaning to it. They attach the meaning to it and say, oh, because I've lived through this, because I have a memory of this, this must be stronger. I hear it all the time. People say negative thoughts are stronger. Negative thoughts are more dominant than positive thoughts. That's not true. You're just assuming that. You're just assuming that. So watch the meaning you're giving things, you know, and you may say, oh, well, I've experienced it. Well, your feedback is there to let you know that that's just more dominant within you. So you just need to make the new desired story more dominant. Okay, you guys really need to watch the meanings we give things. Like, for example, my client, when she was manifesting her SP back, and for the third party to move on peacefully, like, she even told me, she was like, he's shared that the third parties told her, the third parties told him, like, I don't know why we're even like together sometimes, because this relationship is toxic. The third parties said that to her SP, and he's shared it with her, my client. And she's like, but Ani, like, even though I have evidence like that, and I know that that's not a healthy relationship between them, it's just I manifested them to get back together. So, like, even though I know that and I've seen evidence of that, I've heard him tell me that they've had that conversation, I still think in my head that maybe I'm not worthy of him coming back. Maybe I'm not so much of a priority for him to come back. There's the story, you guys. You see, like, your story and your limiting beliefs, you guys, I'm not saying everyone has it, but you can catch it if you really pay attention to the story you're telling yourself or even other people. You can catch what's going on, what meanings you're attaching to this, reality of yours, your current reality. Okay, so we worked together, we worked through all these little things, and there's a lot of specifics. And she said that she's gonna write a detailed success story for me to share with you guys, with all the details and all the feelings she really felt that will help you guys. But she was like, go ahead and share it, because I want anyone going through this to know that if you persist, it's gonna push out, it's gonna play out. And she also wanted me to let you guys know that she did not feel confident the whole time, manifesting her SP back. She did have a lot of doubts and fears and anxieties that popped up throughout this time, this middle, but it still played out, it still pushed out. And how she told me was, when we met, she was like, Ani, I have really good news for you. And I told you I'm going to be your next success story. And you know what, you guys, a lot of you tell me, a lot of my clients sign up with me and they're like, Ani, I'm going to be your next success story. And I'm like, I know you are. Like, you definitely are. We're going to share your story on the channel. And it happens. It always happens. Like, I love it. But she was like, he reached out to her and he said, I finally did it. We separated. She moved on. She was totally like cool. Like, she was agreeing with everything I was saying, the third party. And he's like, I have good news to tell you. Like, it's done. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You don't have to feel anxious about it anymore. I choose you. And I was just like, like, it was so good. I love to hear things like this from you guys, because it just proves that the internal work always, always, always is so much more powerful than trying to do something out there and manipulate things out there. This whole manifesting work, you guys, it's not about manipulating 3D. It's really about, like, you taking care of those thoughts, watching what you think throughout the day, watching how you feel throughout the day, watching what your assumptions are of you, watching what your assumptions are of others, right? Like, that's where you really can get an idea of what's playing out in here and what will push out there. So once you fix what's playing out in here, you fix what's playing out there. And sometimes it takes time. It's okay. It's okay. You're winning because you're investing in yourself. This is a huge investment in yourself and the way you think. And once you invest in yourself like this and you start seeing movement like this, right? You become unstoppable in every other area of your life. Okay. So a tip and trick I want to give to you guys. Sorry, you guys, I'm just trying to get this into focus here. Okay. What's going on? All right. A tip and trick I want to give you guys, for those of you who feel anxious, worried, doubtful, fearful, and you always want to like check like social media, or you always want to go and check like I don't know, like maybe if your SP's home or not, or you calling with the private number. I don't know. Like I've heard so many things happen, but if you're constantly looking for validation in your 3D is what I'm trying to say, and you can't calm down, one thing that's helped me a lot throughout my journey and with my clients as well is creating a routine. Create a routine, a daily routine where it's like you have certain tasks to get done, and you're really like just putting the focus on yourself. And it can be fun, it could be a hobby, it could be work related. I know that there's a lot of things like we put on the like, on the side, because we want to manifest a certain thing or a certain person, and we put a lot of things that we would want to do just on the side, and we don't prioritize other areas of our lives. So build a routine, create a routine, like start really like maybe take some time to affirm, take like a 10-minute, 15-minute break throughout the day, multiple times a day, and that's your like alone time for your inner work. Start achieving things you've been putting to the side. There's so many things you can do, you guys, that this is supposed to be fun. This time in between from you desiring what you want and you really learning about how you're thinking about it and how you're assuming things to be in your reality and really like tweaking those things, the time from you wanting your desire and receiving, like the in between's meant to be fun. It's like a learning experience. You're picking what you want, what you don't want. It's like a menu. Like, okay, I want to feel this way, I don't want to feel this way. How can I lighten up my mood right now? What can I do right now? There's a movie I've been wanting to watch. Let me like go watch that. Let me detach a little bit. Let me stop hyper focusing on this one area, because when I hyper focus, everyone is me pushed out, and they feel that. They feel that everyone is you pushed out, and they feel when you're hyper focused on them. I'm sure you guys have experienced that, like with like maybe exes or people like in your reality where like I'm sure it's happened where like this one person loves you and is obsessed with you, and you're kind of like, okay, like, chill a little bit. Like you're probably once were interested in them, but because they're so desperate and needy, you feel that like, mm, chill. And obviously we create that where with our assumptions as well, because if we think that way about someone, they'll constantly show that to us. Most likely what happens with our SPs is we think the opposite. We think, oh, maybe they have better stuff to do and not hang out with us. Oh, maybe they don't want to make time for us. Maybe they don't want to prioritize us. So we do that, but the opposite, right, with SPs, because when we really 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 want something and we feel like it's so out of reach, we create a story in our head that like, oh, this is the reason why, this is the reason why, this is like, you're justifying an assumption. Does that make sense? Like a lot of us are justifying assumptions. Like we have an assumption that this person didn't call me, they didn't text me, or they're not hanging out with me this weekend, they must not want to. So we assume, and then we create a story around it to justify that assumption. A lot of us do that. I'm guilty. My clients do that all the time, and I'm always catching them like, stop doing that, don't do that, that's not true. That's not true. You're creating that right now as we speak. You're putting life into that. Don't do that. Okay? So I really would suggest you guys create a routine for your affirmations, create a routine for the inner work, create a routine like let's say you like scripting, right? And everyone is different. I like scripting. I like scripting. Almost every single jackpot I've won, I've scripted for it. Like I've scripted for SP a lot and seen so much evidence. But so let's say you like scripting, right? Take some time out of your day. Like that's your like sacred time. Put your phone on silent, maybe. Don't get any distractions coming in. Use that time for yourself. Make sure you're watering yourself, because you're the root of everything. So you want to make sure you're feeling good. I usually do it in the mornings. If I know a lot of people ask like what my routine is, I usually wake up a little bit earlier than usual. I give myself some time to do that. Like I'll tidy up and I'll just sit down, phone on silent, make my cup of coffee, and just zone out into my internal world, into that desired outcome, that desired end. And people can do this by affirming. People can do this by inner conversations. You can do this by visualizing. There's so many ways, and they're not really techniques, you guys. Like, I know people are like, oh, you don't need to do techniques. You're not really doing techniques. Those things you're doing are shifting you from a lack state to a desired abundant state. So you're shifting states from thinking of not having something to having something. Does that make sense? Like states create. So like if we're in a lack state, you'll find yourself questioning a lot. You'll find yourself trying to do things in the 3D to get stuff done, like validation, reassurance. Let me get it from the 3D. When you're in a having state, you're not so worried. And it takes a little bit of effort throughout your day to get yourself into that neutral, natural state. Okay. And if you can't do it, like the first time you try it, the second time, it's okay. Repetition is key. Persisting is key. Your subconscious likes repetition. Remember, like, I don't know if you guys remember, but like in school, like if I wanted to study something and I wanted it to really get into my brain, like for memory, like I would just write the same information over and over and over and over again. And I remember that information till this day. Like it imprinted real well. Okay. So definitely things imprint with repetition into your subconscious mind. And then in the quantum bubble and quantum physics, the imprint must project out into the 3D reality, because all these atoms, all these particles in your reality are really you pushed out. They're forming in your desired way. Sometimes it's not in your desired way, but it's just going off of the information you filled in here. Does that make sense? So the information you fill in here, whether you believe it or not in that moment, whether you believe you're scripting your affirmations, your visualizations, whether you believe it or not in that moment, your subconscious is listening. You can't turn off the recording. It's recording. It's listening. Okay? And that's a good thing, because when you understand that what you feed this, it will project out, you become more aware of what you're feeding it. I hope you are. I hope you guys are. I intend you are more aware of what this is being fed, because it's going to regurgitate it out in 3D. Okay? So definitely, if you guys are feeling anxious, worried, frustrated, please create a routine that you enjoy. I like for my clients to enjoy their day-to-day basis, because this is a journey, okay? And how you feel, the more you can bring yourself back to the basic knowledge of everyone is you pushed out and thoughts create, the more and more you can bring yourself back into that peace of mind. Peace of mind is very important. Trust is very important. Having faith is very important. Now, you may not have it every single day, every single hour of the day. That's fine. But if you persist in it dominantly, it now becomes a belief anyway. So you're winning anyway. Does that make sense? Every single huge, large sum of money that's come my way, or if I've won it, if it's been a jackpot, or if it's been a check in the mail, or whatever it's been, right? Even success in work. Everything was once a thought first. Did I believe it when I first started to condition myself to think that way? No. No, I didn't. I didn't believe it. Most of the time it was just like, let me see if this even works. And it did, and then it did again, and then it did again, and then it did again. Now it's a belief. You see? Now you don't have to put in so much work into trusting, because you have so much evidence that makes you dominantly think that way. Okay, if you guys resonate with me, comment down below. I love all of your guys' beautiful, beautiful comments. And I love that you guys are getting success. When I see you guys have a like aha moment, or you're explaining your success that you received recently, or like just realizations, right? Like, light bulb. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. That's what we're all here for, you guys. So also, I want you guys to understand, when you feel an emotion, try not to suppress it and push it aside. Let it happen. It's okay. Feel the emotion, but understand that it's temporary. It's temporary. That helped with me with my like anxious thoughts, like when I was manifesting a lot into my life, like when I was questioning a lot, that helped me. Like, just to make it okay. Like, it's okay to doubt. It's okay to have fears. It's okay to feel emotions. You're not like a robot. But understand that it's temporary. It's just a thought. And you don't need to you don't need to dominate your story with that thought. It's okay. Have the thought. Don't absorb the thought. Just observe. Observe. You're going to be doing a lot of observations within yourself and your thoughts throughout your journey. But just understand that it will pass. It will pass. And then you'll get to a state again where you just feel really good and you remember how powerful you are. Okay? I hope this video was helpful, you guys. I'm so proud of all of you sending in all this success. If you guys haven't checked out our community tab on YouTube, check it out, where all our coaches, like all our clients, are sending in all these, like, even the mini success stories, even big success stories. We're always like posting it there, and it's very motivational. Like, recently I had so many clients with just like, Ani, we just got off the session and we were just talking about something and he called, my SP called. Like, I was just telling you, I hope he calls after the session, and he called. Or a lot of money success stories, a lot of like removing third party success stories. So I'm so proud of you guys. And if you guys are interested in any of my courses or one-on-one coaching, links are going to be in the description box down below. If you have any difficulty with anything, please email us at sessions@createyourfuture.co. Our receptionist will help you make it an easy process. I'm thankful for you guys. If you guys want to win free coaching, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, comment down below with something you've manifested so far, or any evidence you've seen so far, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye, guys.